Welcome to the Fabric Library podcast. On this episode, once again, we have someone who is well known for beautiful, beautiful furniture, a well known furniture house in Dubai. And the guest, of course, is the CEO of Defure Furniture, Miss Katrina Kuznetsova. Did I get the surname right?
Amazing.
I did my research. How are you, Katrina? You're good?
Absolutely, yes, amazing. Thank you for inviting me here.
It is my pleasure. Just tell us about how you got into the business of furniture here in Dubai. Quick introduction, please.
It's not quick.
Okay, take your time, no problem.
How I got into the furniture, in a nutshell, when I enter any furniture store, I get goosebumps.
Wow.
So first, when I was going shopping for clothes, I was getting goosebumps. But when I go into furniture, it's a different level. So it's just maybe it's something really mysterious, and I get so excited because I study interior design in UAE. I came when I was 21 years old, and I started studying interior design because I liked that design related, but I didn't really feel what exactly in design really attracts me. So furniture came because after I graduated, I got diploma, and I started working in a company who manufactures furniture for hotels.
Right.
It's I had amazing 6.5 years, and we first were working in Bur Dubai office, and then we shifted to Business Bay. So we got a really good upgrade. We get amazing projects and absolutely awesome CEO.
Which year was this? How many years ago was this?
2010 to 2016.
Okay.
Before 2010, I was working in Bloomingdale's Home.
Wow, okay.
It's in Dubai Mall.
Big brand.
And yeah, it's American big brand. And we were unpacking that time. And there was a flood, a rain flood in Dubai Mall.
Wow.
And one day we were just walking without shoes because it was fully the water. I think it was one of the first floods that I saw in the mall in general that affected the mall. And 2009, 2010, it was Bloomingdale's, Ralph Lauren, Lynn Rose, Nada Debs, all these big high-end brands, and we had a lot of training. And it was completely different level. I started, I think, with the best.
Right.
Yes, then we used to make furniture in China. In another company, is 70% made in China, 30% locally. And I used to travel to China, and it was amazing experience. It's a different planet comparing to UAE or back home. And then in 2016, I opened my own company.
Right.
And I didn't have any background in management or in how to set up a business. So all was by intuition, by trying, testing how it will work. So from 2016, I have Defure, and it's rolling.
No, you did it quite quickly after all. So let's go back even before. You said you came to Dubai and you studied interior design.
Yeah.
And I think by now our audience would have figured from your accent that you're originally from Russia.
Yeah.
What brought you from Russia to Dubai originally? Was it to study or was it something else?
I was born in Tashkent. It's a capital of Uzbekistan.
Oh, okay.
So originally my parents are from Russia,
Right.
And in Uzbekistan I lived for 21 years. It was enough just to graduate. I had a bachelor in English philology, and English was the only thing I got from that university, and reading books also. So after bachelor, I wanted to go out to some cool country, and have some good experience, international experience, because I knew how to speak basic English.
Right.
But the funny part that in the university we didn't have any native speakers.
Wow, okay.
So it was a funny English, book English, phonetics, all this.
Right.
And yes, I came to work here. There was a recruiting agency that got us into the Altair Group, who owns Bloomingdale's and many other stores as well.
Right.
And then when I reached here, I realized that I need more, I want to study something else, and I went to Knowledge Village. In Dubai, most of the universities and schools and any additional education you can get there. It's a hub.
Right.
And I graduated there. I got the diploma.
Very interesting. And how were those years of studying in Dubai? Did you enjoy? Do you look back happily in those years?
Yeah, it was amazing. I used to work, and after work, I used to go to study.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was intense. And then graduation was like really cool, and I had friends since then who studied with me, but they went to work in interior design.
Right.
And I didn't go into interior design because
Bloomingdale's into fashion.
I didn't like really like the interior design as for me personally.
Right.
Because I realized that I don't like doing flooring, ceilings, walls.
Okay.
Like it's not my forte. I don't like it.
You just like the furniture part.
I like product design, but that
Right.
time I didn't realize. You know, when you are young and you need to choose what to study. I don't know if you have this problem in your
No, I've never studied
early
anyway,
ages.
so
You studied?
yeah, I mean just school. I'm not an academic. I've not done any degrees, so I wouldn't know.
Got it. Okay, that's amazing. Yeah, I really admire people who just boldly, you know, business.
There's no shame in it.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, absolutely not. Right, and obviously Dubai back then was not what it is today. I mean,
Yeah.
in the last 15 odd years is where it has really gone up. You know, did you ever imagine that 14 years later this is what Dubai will be like? You know, or did you have any plans? Okay, I'll just work a few years and then I'll maybe go somewhere else. Is that what you had in your mind?
No. When I landed here, first I wanted to stay for a year just to see how it goes. And then I realized that I'm going to stay here like for as long as I can, you know.
Okay.
It's my place 100%.
You just fell in love with it immediately.
Yes, and every time I travel, I like traveling, but I enjoy when I'm on the plane back home. I call Dubai home. I just think, thanks God.
No, that's the thing about Dubai. I mean, when you start living here, it's very difficult to then go anywhere else because you're so used to the convenience and of course the quality of life here is always very good depending on your circumstances. It doesn't apply to everyone. Okay, fast forward to Defure. Let's talk about how you set up the company Defure. What were the challenges? What were some of the difficulties in getting things going? Again, this is about 2016, yeah. So take me through the journey of setting up Defure. How was it? And why Defure, first of all? Where did the name come from?
Name, there is no basically meaning behind the name. It's something like, I don't know, Nike. Does it have any meaning?
Fair enough. Okay.
Maybe there is I can attach it somehow to something.
But
like,
you just randomly came up with it?
Yes,
Okay.
because I have a friend, my best friend, and I just messaged him when I was on the way to economics department,
Right.
and they're like, you have to have a name.
Correct.
I was like, okay, name, I'm not good in names. And then I messaged him, and he's like, okay, use this. And first he wanted to get it at 5, there should be 5 letters in the name. I don't know, maybe it's some strategy or it's something.
Maybe. Okay.
And I gave it to the guy from economics department in the reception, and he's like, it's taken.
Now what do I do?
Yes, and
There's no plan
and
B.
I asked him like, okay, what do I do? Like, and he's like, add a letter. Okay.
Okay.
And then I added E
The E
in the
at the
end.
end,
Yes.
right.
So and I messaged my friend. He's like, add some letter, add E, you know. So
Interesting.
that's how I got the name.
Right, and that's how you registered the name. And what about then finding the right partners, getting the right factories? How was all of that back then?
Yes, because I already worked in the furniture industry.
Also, you had your network and your
Yes, I
contacts.
had
Okay.
already. So 30% of all the hospitality projects we did in UAE already.
Mm-hmm.
So I started working with Khalid, and I think I'm blessed because I met him in general in my life, because he's one of the best people, human beings that I know, and also super comfortable working with him, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Without partner, I think I would be nowhere. It's impossible for me to, you know. And generally, us, we're like a tree trunk, and without all the, you know, other people, we just not so strong.
Correct. 100%.
Yeah. And there are so many people I met along the way who helped me a lot.
Mm-hmm. Now, see, I asked this question from 2 other women that were also on the podcast. Did you ever feel like being a woman was even more difficult in doing some of the things, especially working with factories and, you know, registrations and licenses and all of those things? Was that ever a problem?
I don't know what they replied. For me, it was easier.
Okay. Right. No, some of them said that working with factories, sometimes it's a very male-dominated kind of industry. So sometimes like, oh, what does she know about manufacturing? But you never faced any of those issues.
Not never. Sometimes you face everything, but I didn't feel, so much that it's bad in it,
Right.
It was okay. I mean, there's nothing. Sometimes you might catch an eye, of the person who is just stopped working because, you walked in, but I didn't feel any discouragement or anything bad about it. It was cool. I mean, as a woman, I feel in UAE it's easier.
100%. It's one of the most safest countries and the safest cities in the world.
Different queue even, when I did my documents, I had a separate queue.
Isn't that amazing?
I was like, and do you want tea? And I was like, oh my God, I should have done it before. Tea, when I registered the document, amazing.
Where am I? We are not used to that kind of things. So 8 years of Defure now, 2016 to now, 2017 to now, so about 7 years.
16 and today is 24.
So 8 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Looking back, tell me, what do you think has been your greatest moment in the company? Like if you look back and say, this is when I knew that, my business is a success. Have there been any such moments?
Not the success, but when I felt really great moment, it is when I hired the first person.
Okay.
And first I was doing everything by myself, so like starting from accounts until the moment when you deliver something and you are there, to sign delivery note.
Right.
And when I hired the first employee, it was super scary because it's a responsibility. Other than your child, now you have to be responsible for another person and his family as well.
Of course.
But that was amazing. I mean, Jason was doing everything, and we went through maybe 4 years together working side by side.
Wow.
And it was really amazing. I wish I had done the hiring thing maybe earlier, because the life gives you more work as soon as you hire more people.
True.
So that's what I noticed and experienced. This was one great moment, and I think when the order came for always any new order is a great moment.
Every time you see a purchase order, you're like,
when the money,
celebration.
That message, on the account,
Absolutely,
the money came and you forget all the things and you're just, yes. So when I got the project, we got Rwanda. It was one and only. It's a Kerzner property. Was done by Parker Company Procurement, and we got the full package for furniture.
Oh, fantastic!
And it was like, wow, we are doing one and only. Us,
I think we've done a couple of one and only with our fabrics. I think
yes, it was with Fiberguard, and it was with Brew.
Yes, of course. Yeah. That brings me to Fabric Library. Then, when was your first interaction with? I think you obviously knew us as Silkland before, but when did you first come across Fabric Libraries and our fabrics?
So first I come across with Brew when we did one and only in Rwanda, Gorilla Nest, and then I already got to know Silkland.
Right, of course.
So I had a client who brought me to the Silkland showroom. Her name is Anne. She's amazing designer, very super talented, and a big admiration for me for many years working in UAE.
What's her full name again?
Her name is Anne.
Anne, okay.
And she basically came into the Silkland and she showed me the first books, and it was Cassio's. I remember the books. I remember the day, when we came in. And I used to buy a lot from York and from different Dazzle and all, but I didn't really know much about Fiberguard, right? And then it's just kicked off, because the product is so good. And we started ordering from that project that she did as a design, because designers, they specify the fabrics. So we can recommend something, but and we purchase and upholster, but we need, that guideline. And most of the designers, they love Fabric Library, they love the Twin Brew and Fiberguard fabrics.
Fantastic. And how have you found the service from everyone at Fabric Library? Satisfied?
It's amazing. We recently had a training in your head office, and we said how good is Rahul. Absolutely super patient. He's handling our account and like every single sample, because our work is mostly based on samples. We need these materials, because the fabric, the trick part with the fabric, that it looks completely different at home. So in the showroom you have one shade, in the car you have another shade. When I take like some pictures at home, it could be like completely different shade.
Yeah, the different lighting
it could
conditions.
be greenish or pinkish, or and then we always recommend that cut piece to look at it at home.
Right.
So, and Rahul really helps because the samples are arranged so fast, and it's like next day, and it could be delivered to the client's home, and it's amazing.
The idea is to make your life easier, so that our relationship continues. Right. Let's go back to your. Yeah. End of the day, that's what it is, isn't it? Let's go back to your initial days in the company. So you said you had your first hire. Now, how many people do you have in your team in total?
14.
14 people?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm not counting the workers at the factory.
Of course, yeah. And do you have any things that you look for in someone when you hire? Because I always have these discussions about people. Obviously, we all know product is easy. You have a product, you sell it. But getting people and understanding the right person is not an easy task. So what do you look for in a person when you're looking to hire them? What are some of the things that you consider?
I cannot say that I'm so good in it, hiring, because I had a lot of different hires.
Of course. No, but there must have been lessons you must have learned in those.
Yeah. So maybe not the best person to give advices on this.
Matter.
But in general, I look for someone who is at this moment when we are talking, not like maybe 4 years ago, it was completely different thing. But I look for someone who knows more things than me, who is more competent than me. So he can teach me how to do, let's say, how to run accounts, because I don't know how to run accounts. I know approximately. I know how to submit what and do all of that because I used to do it myself. But when you grow, you need very strong team.
Of course.
So when when I feel that in that interview he's smarter on his area, it's immediately big plus point for me. And the second thing that I really like, when person is humble and he is having you feel comfortable with him, because he's not looking at you like in the position from up or like he's on the same level, he's comfortable, you feel comfortable and he feels comfortable, or she, and the communication is because it's more important maybe sometimes than the knowledge.
Of course,
If the communication skills are amazing, it's I don't know where you study that. Maybe it comes even from the family and from the roots, but some people, they communicate so efficiently, so it's really amazing. And of course the skills in his own field.
So two things, I guess: the expertise and them knowing what their area is, and of course being a good communicator. I think those are two very good points. Actually, those are two things that we must consider when hiring. So what does Katrina do on any given day when you wake up and go to office? What's your daily routine like generally? Are you designing products all the time, constantly curious about what new you can come up with, or what do you do generally on a given day?
I think these days we are led by clients because they send us designs and we need to decide how we do it. Because every month we make approximately 40 to 50 new furniture that we never made before.
Wow, okay.
So it's a continuously keeping us on the toes,
Right.
You cannot relax. It's impossible because the drawings and the process basically is the same, but the furniture item, because it's always customized, is different.
Right.
And we don't have any a standard collection.
It's always customized. Whatever the designer asks for, you will deliver.
That's our niche,
Right.
So we try now to bring some already standard things. It's an experiment for this year, and hopefully it will work. We will bring some items and try to distribute them here as well.
So it's like a catalog that people can select from
Yes.
rather than having to newly manufacture design
Yes.
all the time.
Yes.
Interesting. And what sectors do you mostly do? Is it residential? Is it commercial? Hotels? Restaurants? F&B?
It's funny because before COVID, we were only doing commercial.
Wow, okay.
And then I know that COVID changed a lot of lives, and in general, everyone experienced it in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
For us, it was a growing moment.
Okay.
And when the doors open after COVID, all the clients were designers who do residential projects.
Wow.
And I was thinking, like, residential, one item, no. Like, for me, it was a big no, because in commercial, you have a list of, let's say, when we did Sharjah Airport, it was the last commercial project that we did. So fit-out contractor sends us the list of maybe at least it was 50 items.
Right.
And the quantities of each item was like 10, 15, 20, 50.
Right.
So you look at the BOQ that is, quite big, and you work on the project. So, and then when, airport was closed in COVID and all the hotels, they didn't, or restaurants, they didn't want to spend money at that time to develop, to continue, construction, because nobody knew what's coming.
Yeah.
And it was a very different situation. And, but then the designers who make residential projects, because 90% of our clients are designers, they're not end users, and they started giving us things for villa and apartments. So usually they send it as like renderers or their design intent.
The 3D designs, yeah.
Yes, or 3D. And then they use, or just a presentation, like a mood board. And then we started making the furniture.
Okay. So now you're saying most of your work is now residential, is it?
No, now we do both.
That's great. You got best of the both worlds, then. That's fantastic. That's amazing. Let's dive a little bit into your personal life, if you don't mind, Katrina. You have family here in Dubai?
Yes.
Okay. Tell us a little bit more.
So I have a son.
Okay.
He's 12, and he was born here.
Okay.
So it's a really cool experience. I mean, kids' life here is different. It's really amazing. I'm not sure about the university, but the secondary and in general the schools here I feel are one of the best, and people have such a cool experience here, the kids, with culture, because it's so multicultural, so they don't have those boundaries, and the mindset that of the closed, so it's so diverse.
Yeah,
and
you meet people from different backgrounds, different nationalities. Yeah.
Yes,
You
and
learn
in
so
his
much.
class
Exactly.
he has everyone.
Yes, exactly.
And it's amazing.
And how do you find balance in between being a good mother to him and also, of course, giving your 100% at work? Must be obviously a challenge. How do you find the time to balance it
and
out?
also don't forget the personal life as
Of course,
well.
that's what I'm
and
saying.
there's
Yeah.
other
Yeah,
things
you've got
to
your-
balance, and
yeah,
it's always
exactly,
a juggle,
exactly, yeah.
It's
Are you a very schedule-minded person? Are you very strict on your timings? I need to do this from, let's say, 1 to 2 or 3 to 4. Do you just figure it out along the way? What kind of person are you?
I definitely cannot live without my calendar.
Okay, so you're very organized then.
Yeah, if I don't have my calendar, like, I will do nothing, because
Right.
I don't know, and I have a plan for next months.
Wow, okay.
And it's always a schedule is super important for me, and we have set times for the meetings.
Perfect.
Usually they come in the morning with the team meeting, and I'm involved in day-to-day operations, so I'm not that person, who chills in Bali and just surf and
Just give instructions, do
yes.
this, do this, do this.
No, I'm pretty much hands-on at the moment, and the team also requires attention, so I don't know, if it can run by itself, but doesn't run for me yet.
No, of course, no. I think for a business to be successful, you got to be hands-on, and we've learned that from Gary himself. Even though he's built an empire, he's still every day in that office, the first to come and the last to go. So you have to have that. I think you can call it discipline, because without that, it's very hard to do. You said personal life. Do you have any hobbies or passions that you have on the side that you like to do?
Yes, absolutely.
Tell
I
us
have
more
a
about
lot of hobbies. It's so I also finished school piano, so I love when it's one of the best thing when you just play for an hour. It's almost feels like after you spend an hour with psychologist, it clears you the mind. It's like kind of meditation.
Really?
So I have at home. So when COVID started, and the last day I went and on the Bizel picked up one piano in the car, in the Land Cruiser. And just brought it home on the last day before the lockdown,
Wow.
And since that, it stays with me because it's really cool. And then I love surfing. I love that feeling on freedom,
Right.
Because you surf?
I'm afraid not, even though I'm from an island. And you've been to Sri Lanka, you told me just now. No, I never tried
You're
it, and
an
I'm too
island
afraid
boy.
to do it.
Oh, no.
Maybe we should go someday. You can teach me sometime in Sri
In
Lanka.
Sri Lanka,
Yeah,
you can surf. It's one of the best places.
Yeah, we've
also.
got some amazing beaches for surfing. In fact,
Yeah.
tourists come from
Yes.
your part of the world.
I came
quite a
from
bit.
Dubai to
Yeah.
Sri Lanka.
Yeah. Someday.
Yeah, I went to Goa also to surf to Bali. So some places that have surfing spots are on my top list,
Right.
And in general, traveling, I think one of the, if we look at the big hobbies,
And how do you look at yourself, let's say from here? Now you have this successful business, Defure Furniture, well-known brand, everyone knows it. Do you have any plans for expansion, maybe going into Saudi, or 10 years from now? Where do you look at Defure positioning itself?
Yes, at the moment, what we have now, we grow double every year.
Wow, okay.
So because we are so small, in the beginning, and then we start growing, and I think I'm very ambitious. I want to do more, and hopefully it will happen. I have always intention to grow. I don't want to stay in where I was the same in the last year. I don't want to stay there.
Are there any immediate plans that you have in mind that you want to do for growth?
Immediate plans is to grow the team, to grow the product line.
Right.
So at the moment we do upholstered furniture. This is our key. So then we started tables, and marble items, because I love marble so much.
Right.
And it was also one of my passion. And I started with the friend making marble furniture, and then it grows and it continuously develops. So developing product line is one of the important thing for me, and developing the team and grow as a team. So every person who works with us grows,
Of course.
and then they can get bigger salaries, bigger responsibility, people under them, and become the top management within the team. That's important.
Right.
And financially as well, to grow is super important, to support the system, and just to do things, to keep working with designers, because it really inspires me. They're super creative, super talented, and being around designers is what really, gives me that. So basically to grow the designers' clientele.
Right.
That's the...
Would you say the one and only was your favorite project to date to do? Or there's a
That's
difference
the right
between
question.
there's a difference between biggest project versus your favorite project, that where you really put your heart out and you did it with a lot of passion, which you enjoyed doing it.
I don't look at it like this.
Okay.
I don't have any favorite projects, because every new project that we get, like right now we are doing a penthouse in Blue Waters.
Right.
Also exciting. It's not the largest projects so far. Like it's not at all close even to the biggest project that we did. But it's exciting because it's completely different. And every day we learn, because we receive new designs that we never saw before, and like how we're going to do it. It's so cool. It looks so good, but how do we do it? And then we need to be always, technically discuss with factory every day, non-stop, like how do we do it. And so they're all not repeated.
Right.
If maybe I had some projects or some product line that is repeated, right, I could say like that looked the best. But because they're so different, you treat them like different. It's the same like you will ask which child is your favorite. They're all different. Like they're all so different.
That's
and
a good
I
analogy,
like,
actually.
each of them I like something.
Correct.
It's
And
so
every project
hard.
is unique, of course. Yeah.
Yes, they're all unique. That's the whole thing. And even sometimes the size, it's a big size project, so it's unique because of the quantities. Sometimes it's unique because it's only few items, but they turn out like so good.
Right.
And we all of us, all the team, like, okay, did you see the photos of the delivery? Oh my God, like so cool.
Well done to us.
Yes, yeah, well done to the factory also, you
course,
know,
of
because
course.
they have to do it every day.
Katrina, you went from being employee to entrepreneur, owning your own business. I think a lot of people I've spoken to already have been through that journey, but also a lot of people I've spoken to want to take that step, but they're afraid because running a business isn't easy. There's a cost to it, there's a risk element to it, and there's that fear of failure. When you're an employee, yes, you have a guaranteed salary coming your way. You know, yes, you're just responsible for certain parts of the business, but not the entire business. But when you become an entrepreneur, everything is on you. It's either a complete hit or a complete miss. There are people who want to take that step, but they're afraid of what if it's a failure. What advice would you give to such people?
You know, it depends what is behind you. So if behind, like Pharrell Williams song, remember, Freedom? So if
Yes.
depends what you're driven by.
Right.
So whatever pushes you out will, like, and that passion, you know. So if there is enough passion, you will not think twice. Do I do it? Do I not do it? You just boldly, you know, go and do it because you have to try.
Right.
Then it's another story, like if it's successful or how many years it takes or how much money and like tears and all the efforts it takes. Not easy. I mean, first 2 years, and when I speak to other entrepreneurs in UAE who started without investments, first 2 years they're in a loss. So I was continuously borrowing, and then the you know, third and fourth year is zero. Like you at
You
least
break even.
Yeah, you break even. So it's a good, you know, thing. And then you start making slowly profits. And then, of course, imagine working alone without the team. It was. I could only rely on myself. So each person have some kind of things within himself to fight with, you know.
Right.
As soon as you, let's say you have some people around you, let's say your dad or mother could push you and say, come on, now you do it, you know, just hire somebody or some friend, you know, of yours comes. And then you, as soon as you keep pushing out of the boundaries, do something that different from what you did yesterday, you're trying you're just opening up, you know, and then it works, it might work, it might not work. But as long as you, like, if you try 10 times, for sure one thing will pop out, you know, and will be good, even without much knowledge. But of course, I admire people who have masters in business, and it's really cool. I mean, going back, I would study more, I think, and I would study different field as well.
Fantastic. That's a solid bit of advice there from Katrina. Listen, I think the time has passed and we haven't even realized. It's been a lovely conversation, Katrina. Thank you so much for coming in. It was a good chat.
Thank you so much. And I wanted to ask you, what
It's the first time someone's asking me a question on the podcast, but we'll go ahead, no problem.
Same question that you just asked me.
Okay.
I want you to, you know, just reply because it's interesting.
Which, you mean about entrepreneur to
Yes.
employee to entrepreneur?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for me, it's the other way around. I went from being an entrepreneur to becoming an employee, different circumstances. I'm from Sri Lanka. Things changed back home. There was an economic recession.
And when you first became entrepreneur, what pushed you? Like, why did you do it?
It was, I think, our family culture, if at all. You know, I come from a business family. My dad was in the business of textiles, obviously, so it's obviously natural that I got into textiles. My my profession and my passion is in journalism. I was a news presenter back in Sri Lanka. I'm still a cricket commentator. I don't know if you have even heard of the sport cricket.
Of course.
Oh, you know? Okay, great.
I live in Dubai for so many
Fair
years.
enough. Okay. So I'm a commentator also. I do a lot of international games and domestic games over here. So it was my childhood dream to become a cricket commentator, because of which I went into journalism and I became a news presenter. But my father was running the business. It was a textile business, and he got sick towards the end of his life. He had a fall, was in a wheelchair, so I had to give up my profession and go and join the family business to help him and take over some of the work. So through that, obviously, I learned about business, learned about transactions, how fabrics work, how do you import, export, all those things, and that's how I got into entrepreneur lifestyle. And of course, I mean, a lot to learn from family. My elder brother taught me quite a bit. It has its advantages and disadvantages. I'm sure you'll know.
Yeah.
There is the freedom that you get. You are your own decision maker. You're not bound by anyone. But at the same time, there's a lot of pressure on you. You're worried about every single aspect of the business, from making sure you're going out there, finding customers, getting the sale done, and then following up on payments, and then making sure your taxes are done properly, making sure your office is maintained. So it's all of that also. So it's had its advantages and disadvantages. I think some people are just built to be entrepreneurs. It's just in their DNA. And then there are people, they're happy to just live a life of following instructions. It's about...
Yeah, we need both.
Yeah, we need both, exactly. It's about you finding out what is it that you want in life.
Yeah.
Once you figure that out, I think the answer is pretty simple. But thank you for the question. I think it made me also realize how I'm thinking. As again, thank you so much for coming, Katrina. It was a good chat.
Thank you so much. Yes.
We'll see you around in the studio more often.
Yeah, beautiful studio.
Thank you so much. Katrina Kuznetsova, CEO of Defure Furniture. Good chat. We'll see you again on another episode of the Fabric Library podcast.